You know that feeling when you're scrolling through endless options for a robot mower, trying to convince yourself that the next one you pick won't end up gathering dust in the garage? You've probably heard the hype dash, set it and forget it, perfect cut every time, but you also know there's a risk of splurging on a gadget that just won't fit your yard or your schedule. I was in that exact spot a few weeks ago, juggling a medium-sized suburban lawn, a busy work week, and a growing list of smart home devices that already have my attention. I wanted something that actually worked without demanding a PhD in robotics, and I wasn't willing to waste money on a promise that sounded too good to be true. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Husqvarna Automower IQ Series 440 is the brand's flagship robotic mower, and it's marketed as the #1 selling model in its class. At first glance, the headline features wire-free installation, GPS-guided navigation, an app that lets you start, stop, and schedule cuts from your phone. Sound exactly like the kind of convenience you'd expect from a premium robot mower. But the real test is how those claims translate when you actually set it up on a 5,000 square foot lawn, deal with the occasional stray garden tool, and try to keep the device running year after year. Let's start with the setup. Husqvarna advertises a wire-free installation, which means you don't have to manually lay a perimeter wire around the edge of your property. Instead, the mower uses a built-in GPS system to map the area and stay within boundaries. In practice, you still need to define the perimeter in the app, and the mower does a quick calibration walk to learn the edges of the lawn. The whole process took me about an hour, from unpacking the box to having the mower start its first autonomous pass. That's a reasonable time investment for a device that's supposed to run for months without your intervention, but it's not a literal plug-and-play experience. If you're comfortable spending that initial hour fiddling with a smartphone and watching a small robot circle the yard, the convenience payoff is huge. If you'd rather just drop a mower in the grass and walk away, the learning curve might feel like a hidden cost. The real-world strength of the IQ 440 is its reliability once it's up and running. Over the course of 2 weeks, I watched the mower handle a mix of sunny, dry days and a surprise rainstorm without missing a beat. The GPS navigation kept it from drifting into flower beds or the driveway, and the cut height range adjustable from 1 inch up to 4 inches let me tailor the lawn's look for different seasons. I set it to a higher cut during a drought period to preserve grass health, and a lower cut when I wanted a more manicured appearance for a family gathering. The mower adjusted on its own, no manual resetting needed. One of the biggest practical benefits is the app control. From my phone, I could set a weekly schedule, pause mowing if a pet was playing in the yard, and even get a notification when the battery was low. The battery itself lasts about 60 minutes of continuous mowing, which is more than enough for the sections of my lawn, and the mower automatically returns to its charging station when it runs low. The peace of mind feature they tout isn't just marketing speak, it actually saved me a few trips to the garage when the mower decided to pause for a low battery warning. The charging dock is small enough to sit in a corner of the driveway, and the mower docks itself with a quiet click. Now for the trade-offs. The biggest hidden cost is maintenance. The IQ 440 has a cutting deck that needs to be cleaned after each mowing season, especially if you have a lot of pine needles or pet hair. The blades are easy to replace, but you still have to buy spares. Also, while the mower is great at handling flat lawns, it can struggle a bit on very uneven terrain. I have a small hill at the back of my property, and the mower occasionally hesitated at the slope, opting to turn around rather than push uphill. If your yard has steep grades, you might need to adjust the mowing schedule or accept that the robot will avoid those spots. Another point to consider is cost. The IQ 440 sits at the higher end of the market for residential robot mowers. With a 3.9-star rating from just over 100 reviewers, it's clear that the product satisfies many users, but the rating also hints that it's not a perfect fit for everyone. Some reviewers mention the upfront price as a barrier, and that's a fair observation. If you have a modest lawn under a quarter of an acre, a less expensive model or even a traditional push mower could give you a better return on investment. The IQ 440 really shines for medium to large lawns. Think 4,000,6,000 square feet where the time saved mowing.